Hi, I'm going to do an example on how to graph a sine function. So let's take a look at the example y equals to 7 sine 6x. The first thing you want to do is look at the period of the function. So the b right here is going to set the frequency. I know that the period of the function is 2 pi over b. In this case, our b is 6. So we can go ahead and write 2 pi over 6. So 2 pi over 6 is exactly pi over 3. So that equals to pi over 3. That means the sine will complete one cycle in pi over 3. If you remember the unit circle, we're really just interested for now in graphing 4 points. So here at 0 degrees, the sine is 0. Since we have 1 comma 0, the sine is always going to be our y value, so the sine is 0. At 90 degrees up here, or pi over 2, this is the point 0 comma 1, so the sine is going to be 1. And then at 180 degrees, we have negative 1 comma 0, and the sign here is our y value. Let me change the color. So that would be 0. And on the bottom here, we have 0 comma negative 1, and that is 270 degrees, or 3 pi over 2. And our sign over here is negative 1. And then we complete the cycle once we get to 360 degrees. And then the whole thing starts again. Well, this B value changes the frequency. So because our cycle is 2 pi, we're going to divide that by 6 and so get 4 pi. So we're going to get pi over 3. All right, so what are we going to do to first label the graph? In order to label the graph, we want to first the y-axis. Well, we're just going to look at the amplitude here. This is our A value, the amplitude, and that is 7. So I'm just going to count by ones over here. So let me okay, so I'm going to put 1 here. And now how do we label the x-axis? Well, because we're going to one cycle, we go to 4 main points. I want to divide my period by 4. So we're going to take pi over 3 and divide it by 4. If we divide pi over 3 by 4, well, that's the same as pi over 3 times the reciprocal of 4 is 1 over 4. So that means we are actually going to divide the graph and count by pi over 12. So if I label this graph right here, let's say every 2 units is pi over 12, I'm going to get pi over 12, 2 pi over 12, 3 pi over 12, 4 pi over 12, which is pi over 3. So let's go ahead and label the graph by pi over 3. So I'm going to go ahead and put that in. So right here, I'm going to label the graph by pi divided by 12. Once I do that, I can pretty much, if I want to, it's up to you how you want to scale it. If I want to scale pi over 12 every square, that's fine. Or every 2 squares, that's fine too. Now the sine function always starts at 0. You can see right here at 0 degrees, it's 0. So I'm going to go ahead and put that in here. So at 0, it is 0. At pi over 12, it's going to go to the amplitude, which is 7. And then another pi over 12, it's going to go back to 0. You could see right here, it goes back to 0. And then I'm going to go down to the amplitude, which is negative 7. So I'm going to put a point right here. And then I'm going to complete the cycle and go back to 0. And this is what one cycle would look like of the sine function.